you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit. That first hit.
Hello and welcome, and thanks for choosing to hang out with your host, the Conservative Bird, and me, Double D, and you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Double D, I think World War III is coming before Civil War, honestly. And I know there's been a lot of unrest, a lot of craziness going on in our country right now, but everything that's going on in Iran and Israel and things in Israel and Palestine, and then we got Ukraine and Russia, it just seems like it's almost evident that World War III is going to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of starting to look that way, man. It's getting a little crazy, bro. Yeah, I mean, you got Iran. Weren't they talking about attacking some of the U.S. Bases over there, too? I thought I saw something about that earlier today, about them attacking the U.S. bases.
I really hope they don't do that.
I mean,
really
if that
don't do that.
If they do that, bro, they just drew us in. So
Yeah.
I mean, that could be pretty wild. And it's already on as far as them and Israel goes. That's game on right now, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. Now, I know the president really, really wants Iran and Netanyahu to get on board with
just like he wants to bring, I think what people don't understand is you can't tell by now, Trump wants to literally be that president that is known as the peace president, because I think Trump thrives himself to be a perfectionist, and he feels like being the perfect president would be the most peaceful president, the one with the most peace, and the best thing to do, honestly, is peace through strength.
And peace through Marines, if you have to go that route. But I
am not for war. I understand in situations that it is going to happen, but I am not for it because I think nothing good comes of war.
No, I mean, you just end up with, how many people was he saying have already died, over in Ukraine and Russia? Like 5,000 a day now?
It's sad,
but that's a pretty high number, dude. I mean, that's a pretty high. That would be like,
and that's on both sides. That's on both sides, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. That'd be like, all those people, coming across, Mexico, and if we were just shooting them down as they were coming across the border at the time of Joe Biden, that would have been like 5,000 to 6,000 a day. That's a slaughterhouse, bro. That's what that is. I mean, now you've got Iran and Israel literally just bombing the piss out of each other.
Right, dude. And it's like nothing good is gonna come of this. It's just gonna literally kill a bunch of innocent people that have nothing to do with these wars and that don't want nothing to do with these wars.
I mean, I'd be really curious to see how worn down the people are right now over there. I'd really, I know that, Fox News has a couple of correspondents over there. I'm sure CNN and MSNBC do too.
But who's going to give us the truth? Who's really going to give us the truth?
Honestly, they're all kind of guilty. All three of them, all three that I did guilty of some sort of propaganda.
Yeah, definitely.
And I prefer Fox News over the other two, but it's hard to get an objective, it's really hard to get an objective journalism anymore.
That's why it's like, at least we have a president like Trump who he could be transparent. Like how we seen how he was talking with Ducey yesterday. Peter
Yeah.
Ducey asked him a question where I feel like if that would have been like any other president, say Kamala Harris, that would have been Joe Biden, if that would have been Barack Obama, he would have tried to belittle him like he was asking him an idiotic question when it was a question that needed to be asked. And Trump didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trump said that's actually a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. Whereas other presidents, I believe they would have got offended.
Oh, I think Barack definitely would have got offended. Now, Slick Willie, he was actually pretty good with the media. So even when they asked him, even when they asked him the tough questions, he
Right.
really. I mean, that guy was like. I mean, he was the head of his debate team in college, and so he was a Rhodes Scholar too. So he really was really good at dealing with the media.
Exactly.
And Barack Obama was all scripted.
Right,
You know
for
what
sure.
I mean? He really was. He was all scripted and
yeah, he was not. He was like an NPC almost.
yeah. If it wasn't there already written in front of him, he
Right.
really. And honestly, he had never allowed himself in a situation where that was the case. Now,
Sure.
George W. He kept it humorous, but he really wasn't the best guy in front of the media either.
He was a
What is the old saying my father used to say? You tripped over your dick. Well, that's what George W. was really good at tripping over his dick.
That's great.
Hey, Bird, real quick. I think we should remind the audience to,
hit the
that like.
hit the share, hit the subscribe, and smash the notification.
Yeah, there you go. I just wanted to get it out there before I forgot again.
Yep, let's get it. All right, so without further ado, let's get into this video. Right now, we have Trump talking to the media, letting him know a little bit about the ins and outs of Israel and Iran. Let's check it out.
Have you been answered questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities? Where's your mindset on that?
Can't say that, right? You seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch?
Seriously, I mean, to be honest, I don't, whether you agree with war or not, everything Trump said was exactly right. He's not going to you don't give people your exact orders and coordinates of what you're going to do things.
Yeah, that's for sure. And you know what? He was. I don't even know why that journalist asked that question. Was she expecting a different? Was she really expecting a different answer?
Look at the news company. It's freaking the Clinton News Network.
I know, but they gotta know him enough by now. You
No,
know what I mean?
they're trying to see if they can catch him slipping. They're like, oh, he's getting older. Maybe he'll slip up a time or two. It's not happening. The dude's mental fortitude is still there. Unlike the person you voted for, who his mental fortitude was gone before he was president, and you guys just fell for the ruse.
Yeah, you hear how the Democrats are trying to slide that shit up under the rug too, man. They don't even want to discuss that right now. 4 years of lying to the American public, by the way.
Yep.
4 years the Democrats lied to you, America.
Well, let's
They
be
lied
honest.
to you
Hey,
about
no.
Joe Biden.
Let's not
And
be
it was
honest.
obvious. It was obvious he was an
Let's be
incompetent
honest.
fuckguard.
40 plus years they've been lying.
Oh yeah, but this one was the most serious of the cover. I mean,
Oh yeah, everybody with the
what
brain
we-
could see it.
I mean, Barack was lying about his agenda
Yeah.
and what his actual real plan was. But the truth be told, he was still very cognitively aware.
Very.
He was cognitively aware enough to know that he was lying. I'm not even sure Joey B was even cognitive enough to know that he was lying.
You might be right, but let's get back into this. Let's hear what Trump has to say.
I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate. And I said, why didn't you negotiate with me before? All this death and destruction. Why didn't you negotiate? I said to the people, why didn't you negotiate with me 2 weeks ago? You could have done fine. You would have had a country. It's very sad to watch this. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's so, everyone thought it was going to be the reverse. I didn't think so. And I was telling them, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that, and they got hit. Remember 60 days, and then came the 60.
Do you notice this,
Yeah.
Double D? Hold on. Do you notice this really quick? All right, so look at Trump on striking Iran. I may do it or I may not do it. That's not what he said.
No, that's definitely not
He
what
said
he
you're asking me like I'm going to tell you I may do it or I may not do it.
Right. Yeah, well, of course. Dude, that's CNN.
Do you see what CNN's trying to do? They're trying to cause the war.
Dude, hell yeah, because they know their Democrat colleagues.
This is not what Trump said.
Dude.
Let's rewind that a little bit because that is not what Trump said.
And I said, why didn't you negotiate with?
Yeah, let's see.
And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that...
He didn't say I may do it or I may not do it. He literally said nobody knows what I'm going to do. You don't know what I'm doing.
He probably is not even sure yet what he's going to do. I mean, this is a minute-by-minute situation. You don't just come out on TV. Yeah, we're going to bomb the shit out of them.
Right.
I mean, come out.
Exactly.
I fucking hate CNN. I do. I hate CNN, dude. The Commie News Network. I'm so done with that network. I mean, we have to watch them because of what we do here.
Right.
We don't really have a choice. But,
I'm just
audience,
sick of it.
you don't have to watch CNN. We have to watch them. You don't have to watch them.
We'll watch it for you. We'll watch it for
do it for you. Don't put yourself through that shit.
So, and I was telling him, you gotta do something. You gotta negotiate. And at the end, last minute, they said, no, we're not going to do that. And they got hit. Remember 60 days? And then came the 60. 61 is going to become a very famous number. That was one hell of a hit, that first hit. That was one hell of a hit. Not sustainable, to be honest. That's where it ended. It ended on the first night. Yes.
Is it too late, though? Do you think it's too late to now?
Really, nothing's too late. The only thing too late is Powell. Powell's too late. Too late, Powell.
Have the Iranians reached out to you, Mr. President?
What?
Have the Iranians reached out to you?
Yes.
And what did you say?
I said it's very late. You know? I said it's very late to be talking. We may meet. It's. I don't know. There's a big difference between now and a week ago, right? Big difference.
Yeah, he's right, man.
It's very true. A week. Listen, one day can make a difference. 1 hour can make a difference.
I was about to say, dude, 30 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yeah.
Dude, literally 30 seconds could literally change the fate of everyone. Or one person or no one. Like, it's crazy, bro, to think about this.
I mean, everything has been moving so damn fast that we can't even keep up with it.
Right.
And I mean, he's got so much going on at I can't, I gotta be honest, man. Dude, I have nothing but utmost respect for this man. The fact that, because dude, he is like, I mean, he's the Energizer Bunny of presidents, man.
Imagine trying to balance Civil War and a World War at the same freaking time and trying to make your country the powerhouse again as an energy efficient economics and growth of the country and all of that, dude. And he's literally balancing all of this on one plate
while navigating through a media that basically hates him.
While being in an open in a flooded restaurant. He's like a waiter with a plate with 4 people's dishes on it, all fully stacked, and he's trying to navigate on a wet floor in a restaurant full of people.
And in this case, it's a media force full of idiots.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe they would ask that question. Like,
I don't get it.
What are they thinking, man? Like, why would anybody answer that question with a yes?
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, oh my God, I fucking hate CNN. That's I do.
Just about anybody. They even suggested they come to the White House. It's a big difference. Yeah, but they've suggested that they come to the White House. That's, courageous, but, it's like not easy for them to do. But they suggest, because I can't go now because of what's going on. I had to come back early from the G7, which was terrific, by the way, in Canada. Really terrific. Good people.
Is there a possibility of next week or sooner that
Well, I don't know how much longer it's going to go on. I mean, they're totally defenseless. They have no air defense whatsoever. We've totally captured. We've totally captured the air, Brian.
Yeah, Mr. President, you've been fairly compassionate towards the Iranian people's suggestion.
I know a lot of people from Iran, from New York, from Washington, mostly from New York. They're incredible people. They're smart. They're energetic. They can be difficult, but so can you. No, they're great people.
That's an honest statement. That's an honest statement.
Very honest statement. Who was he talking to? Which reporter was that?
I don't know. It wasn't Ducey.
I don't know.
I don't know who that was.
It definitely wasn't Ducey. It didn't sound like him.
No.
I'm sure it was probably someone from MSDNC.
DNC.
Yeah.
They're smart people. And those people are getting the hell beat out of them now. And it's really a shame. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. This is another one. Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys
He's
agree
right.
with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday, and I said, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about...
Right, Vladimir. Worry about your country. You're literally in a war right now. You don't need to be taking nothing to Iran. Worry about your country right now, dude. Worry about what's going on right there. Let us try and mediate this to get this under control without you giving nuclear bombs to Iran.
Exactly. I'm glad you threw that in there because that's the most important part. While Putin wants to help with Iran. I'm afraid his my only fear his help is he's going to load them up with nuclear weapons. So, and I don't trust Putin, man. I just don't trust him.
I don't trust anybody. I mean, God says you're not supposed to trust any man. So,
That's right. Trust God. That's who you trust. And right now, I'm going to trust. I hope to God that the right thing happens here. I really do. I'm starting to get scared for our planet right now because when they're talking about World War III, it's talking about nuclear weapons. That shit ain't funny.
No,
it's just not.
It's not.
I mean, and it's not right either. It's just wrong in every way. We're gonna what? Throw away the Geneva Convention and the rules of warfare. We're just gonna bomb the shit out of everybody now. That's the way it is. Is that how this is gonna happen?
It's crazy to think.
But if it goes that way, dude, I got news for him. We got more bombs than all of them.
Very true.
This later.
Well, Russia has a lot too.
I think that's going to work out too, but it's so many people have been killed. The big thing with that one is far more people are dead than have been reported in the Ukraine, Russia. Many, many more people. A building falls down, they say nobody was hurt. It's like ridiculous.
Question on deportation.
Unconditional surrender. Two very simple words. Very simple. Unconditional surrender. That means I've had it.
Fair enough.
Okay, I've had it. I give up. No more. Then we go blow up all the nuclear stuff that's all over the place there. No, they had bad intentions. For 40 years they've been saying death to America, death to Israel, death to anybody else that they didn't like. They were bullies. They were schoolyard bullies. And
there they go with that propaganda again.
Look, nothing's finished until it's finished. War is very complex. A lot of bad things can happen.
That's true.
A lot of turns are made. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that we won anything yet. I would say that we sure as hell made a lot of progress. And
it's good.
We'll see.
Hey, slow progress is better than no progress.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is definitely getting slower than we were hoping for. That's for sure. But
to be fair, wars have been going on for 4+ years, and I mean, some of these wars have honestly been going on longer. Like Palestine and Israel have been at war with each other for thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, definitely Israel and the Middle East. I mean, that's
you know what I mean. Like Middle East, they've been at war with each other forever.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they've been at peace since the end of the Roman Empire.
Right. So, my point being,
that's a good 1,700 years.
Right, and it's just crazy, dude. Like, I just don't understand why we keep getting involved in all these foreign wars. I wish that Trump would just say, you know what? I'm pulling out, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sick of this. You guys need to learn how to work these things out between each other and not let it escalate to this.
But if You see, now that's a risk. If you, like, you know me, I'm actually isolated. We've already had this discussion. I'm very much isolationist when it comes. I don't want to be involved with any of their wars. I don't want any American men or women being sent over there to fight battles that these crazies should be fighting on their own. With that said, I don't think we could ignore it either.
Yeah, I know. This is just me.
We can't have them nuking each other either, because that still affects this side of the planet too. You know,
that's
it
very
really
true.
does.
I mean, yeah, nuke could, kill off the entire world.
Yeah, we're talking radiation, radio, nuclear winters, radiation in the cloud. We're talking a lot of bad things that can happen if these people decide to. I mean, dude, I don't even know what I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't know. I hope, and I just wish God would intervene sooner than later.
Hopefully.
Next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week, maybe less. But is there anybody here that said it would be okay to have a hostile, very, zealots really, but to have a hostile country have a nuclear weapon that could destroy 25 miles, but much more than that, could destroy other nations just by the breeze blowing the dust.
True.
That dust blows to other nations and they get decimated. This is just not a threat you can have. And we've been threatened by Iran for many years. If you go back and look at my history, if you go back 15 years, I was saying we cannot let Iran get a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time, and I mean it more now than I ever meant it. Yeah.
What did we learn?
Well, the main thing that struck me was the way that
I feel like we learned that Trump's not going to give you his hand. He's not going to just tell you everything that he's going to do. That would be idiotic, stupid, retarded. I don't.
Irresponsible. It'd be very irresponsible to do that.
Do you ever notice how much the media tries to get him to say something that he doesn't want to say?
They always, because they're more worried about a gotcha moment than they're worried. I keep hearing about it. Yeah, they're all worried about the climate and they're all worried about democracy. Well, there ain't going to be no climate. There ain't going to be no democracy if a bunch of freaking bombs are going off. You could kiss your democracy goodbye, and you could definitely kiss your climate goodbye. You want to talk about climate change? Right. That's instant climate change.
See you later.
Instant climate change. Kaboom!
Kaboom!
That's it.
Kaboom!
You know what I mean? Kaboom! Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. They're all worried about climate change. Fuck Greta Thunberg, because she go over there and stop a nuclear war. That girl can't even ride a bicycle. Fuck her. And we're getting, climate change. You worried about climate change? You want to blow up a bunch of fucking bombs all over the Eastern Hemisphere? There's your climate change. Yep. Welcome to nuclear winter, fucktards.
When you were pursuing a diplomatic negotiation. Now you seem very open to the idea of potentially taking U.S. action. Obviously, you're not going to tell us that. Can you walk us through what...
Why do they ask him that again?
Dude, they want the gotcha moment, man. That's all it's about, dude. They only care about the ratings. And which one is this one? This is Fox.
This is Fox. That might not have been Fox asking the question, though.
That's true. That's true.
Still, you know what? They are on the side of the warmongers, so
yeah, they are, dude.
So
they're all wrapped up in the hands.
I can see them asking it.
Dude, I mean, George Soros is your clear case of wanting to create chaos. Yeah. He's trying to create chaos from within while creating chaos from the outside, too. I don't understand it. What's the gain? What do they got to gain? What, are they going to live in a bunker? You're going to live in a bunker for the rest of your life, George? I mean, come on, man. Are you serious? I mean, this is what about Joey B? They probably don't even care about him because there's nothing left of him anyway. He's just a deteriorating, piece of flesh. But yeah, it is a deteriorating libtard piece of flesh whom they don't give a shit about him. If they gave a shit about him, they would have never put him up for president in the first place.
Contributed to that change, how you got to where you are and making your decision now?
Well, I think it started the first night. I mean, that first night was devastating. And it really knocked the one side off, as you know. Devastating evening, day. And pretty much proceeded that way. I have a meeting a war room in a little while, situation room, as some people call it. So we're going to meet. We're going to see. We're in the midst of it's a terrible thing. I hate to see it. I hate to see all that death, so much death and destruction. But death primarily is what I hate to see.
Same here, dude. That's the one thing I can't stand to see. All the unnecessary death and destruction going on across the world. That's why war brings nothing. It's like literally...
Well, there is
kills our youth. They kill our youth.
There are two things that war does bring. It brings in money for those who are investing in it, for the mongers, and it also lowers the population. Maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe this is just about population depletion. But you know what?
You might be right.
I mean, population depletion, what, from 8 billion to 0?
Yeah.
Because the planet's going to be useless. You're not going to be able to use it. We're not going to, you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to drink the water. You're not going to be able to eat the food.
Right.
You're not going to be able to breathe the air. So it just makes little to no sense. And what, a few people are going to survive it? In 100 years from now, they won't be here either. And we'll still, look at Chernobyl, dude, from just a radioactive nuclear plant explosion. Here we are 40 years later, dude. They've got coyotes with 6 eyes and 3 tails. I mean,
looking like they came out of The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I'd like to think that I was joking about that, but I'm not.
That's crazy.
You can't live there. It's uninhabitable. So what are they going to live in a cave? They're going to go underground?
Right.
I mean, are they going to go live with the mole people? What, are they going to live in the tunnels in Los Angeles?
I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either. It makes no sense. What? There's nothing to gain.
Nothing.
I mean, nothing to gain. If you want to deplete the population, they actually are doing it better they would do it better if they did some biological warfare. At least you'd still be able to use the environment. I'm not giving them any ideas.
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war. Things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. War is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war. There was no reason for Russia, Ukraine.
None at all.
A lot of wars there was no reason for. You look
right
there, I don't know, see the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if the Civil War, it always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people.
Seriously.
So a lot of, it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, in your meeting today with the Chief of Staff of the Pakistani Army, did you talk about Iran? Did that come up? Is there anything you can share from that meeting?
Yeah, well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And they're not happy about anything. It's not that they're bad with Israel. They know them both, actually, but they're probably, maybe they know Iran better. But they see what's going on, and he agreed with me. The reason I had him here, I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just ending the war. And I want to thank, as you know, Prime Minister Modi just left, just a little while ago, just left, and we're working a trade deal with India. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan, and they were both here. But I was with Modi a few weeks ago. He was here, actually. But now we speak to him, and I'm so happy. There was a deal that 2 smart people, plus, they had people on their staff too, but 2 smart people, 2 very smart people decided not to keep going with that war. That could have been a nuclear war. Those are 2 nuclear powers, big ones, big nuclear powers, and they decided not. So I was honored to meet him today.
I mean, this doesn't seem like a dictator, like a fascist, like Hitler. This isn't the type of things that Hitler used to say.
Oh, definitely. Actually, I don't even think people believe that bullshit. The people who actually believe that he's Hitler and that, the people who actually believe that, at this point, they're irrelevant anyway.
Yeah.
They're just a very small minority with very big mouths. You saw that girl screaming the other day. I mean, that was just, you know, it is what it is. Dude. They got big mouths. That's all.
Yep.
And for anyone who may want to answer, how has the travel bans from certain countries affected fans maybe coming in for the games, or is that not a consideration?
Johnny, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's not a concern for us.
Did he just cut that guy off?
I think so.
I love it. Classic Trump.
Yeah.
Johnny.
For the games now in the club.
That's hilarious.
I mean, it's like, I mean, if the question's going to be stupid, you know what they say, stupid questions get stupid answers, and he's not going to give a stupid answer. He's just going to
ignore you,
going to shut you down.
One.
Yeah. He's just going to ignore you and go on to the next one. You know what I mean? So somebody comes up with a better question. Wow, dude. It's the audacity sometimes.
Yep.
Coming out of these freaking reporters just blows me away.
Yep, me too.
You know,
everything has been done in a very smooth way. We have an excellent collaboration, of course, with the president, but with the task force in particular. For next year, the World Cup, we have one more year to work, and the learnings that we have this year with the Club World Cup, which is historic. I say this to all the Americans because it's the first ever Club World Cup, and it's played in the United States of America. So the learnings we'll have for this will apply them next year.
And they're largely sold out, so
but
I don't know. I don't think he's too worried about the travel ban. He doesn't know what the travel ban is, I don't think. Johnny, tell me what the travel ban is. He doesn't know what it is. He's largely sold out. Tonight is totally. I had friends that heard about this meeting. They said, "Can you give me tickets?" I don't know if I can get tickets. You won't give them to me. Maybe John will give them to me.
President, two questions if I could. One about Iran and then one domestically. With Iran, what's your message to Americans both here and abroad who are not only concerned about the U.S. potentially getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East, but worry about the potential for retaliation here at home?
Yeah, well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I've been saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal.
Yeah, they lost a lot of innocent people, and they lost a lot of their generals. They lost their top scientist.
I think they underestimated Israel and overestimated themselves is what they did. And,
I think so too. I don't have no dog in the fight. I'm not for Israel. I'm not for Palestine. I'm not for Iran. I'm not for Ukraine. I'm not for Russia. I'm literally for America and America only.
That's right. I mean, I would like to see
my opinion is completely unbiased.
Exactly. I would like to see a two-state solution over there. And honestly, Zelensky is just going to have to give up the eastern side of Ukraine.
Over the dam. But, it's very, I say it very simply. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Too much devastation. And they'd use it. I believe they'd use it. Others won't use it. But I believe they'd use it. So that's it. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
Makes sense.
I absolutely agree, man. I mean, I absolutely agree because they're obviously not going to be responsible with that nuclear weapon. You know what I mean?
Yep, very true, very true.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley came out this week as the lead sponsor of a bill to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. It stands out because he's a Republican. There's still 20 states that have it at $7.25. Do you support the legislation or the idea?
Well, I haven't seen it. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a very good friend of mine. That's interesting that Josh did that. I'm going to have to think about that one. Some people agree with it, some people don't. Some people say it really turns away business. Restaurants close, and a lot of things happen. Other people agree. I'd have to speak to Josh. He's a good guy.
I mean, we'll see, right? I didn't hear nothing about that. I know we're already up to like $12 or $13, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But yeah, I don't want to see us get involved in any of these foreign wars.
Well, they're sure as hell trying to drag us in, man. That's what it seems like. It seems like they are not going to stop until they pull us in. And I don't. And you just, this what this comes down to. It's just they want to destroy the West, and they know the only way to do that first is they got to take us out. And the only way they're going to take us out is in a nuclear war. And then there was nothing to gain anyway.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna spend the next 500 years trying to what? Rebuild civilization?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It just makes no sense.
It
It's
makes
crazy,
zero
yeah.
sense. It makes zero sense. This is gonna do nothing, cause death and destruction for no reason. I really hope that Trump finds a way to pull the United States out of this and focus on making our country what it's supposed to be, and that's the greatest country in the world.
And I still think he's gonna find a way to put a happy medium here. I still think his skills, his art of the deal, I still think it's there. Like I said in our last episode, economic success is because obviously the religious situation, you've got, different religions and they're all animosity towards each other. You're not getting anywhere with that. You know what I mean? That's been going on for over 1,700 years. They're not getting anywhere with that. So the only real winner is economic winning.
Yep.
And if there's anybody who can negotiate that, it's that man right there.
The man who designed the art of the deal.
That's right. He designed it and he's perfected it.
Yeah.
And I don't think even his critics and his enemies can't deny that.
That's true. All right, everybody. On that note, we're going to end it. We really appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out with us. Without God, none of this is possible. So I want to thank God. I want to thank my family. I want to thank Double D on taking this journey with me. And most importantly, second most importantly, because most importantly is the man upstairs. I want to thank all of you guys.
Absolutely. And Bert, as always, thank you, my friend. I want to thank our audience. And most importantly, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And on that, good night, y'all.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.